Hi, I'm Bill Patrick. The program you're about to see is part of a vintage series called Car and Track, which was originally produced during the first half of the 1970s. Before we begin the show, though, a brief program note. Using as many as 8 cameras to shoot a single event, Car and Track captured some of the great NASCAR competitions of the era, one race at a time. Over the course of some 80 episodes through 6 seasons, series producer and host Bud Lindemann lovingly documented a unique era in American motor racing. While the race action contained in the series remains timeless, the program itself has not dated quite so gracefully. Although the years have not been overly kind to Bud's decidedly low-key introductions and interviews, we believe them to be an integral part of this one-of-a-kind series. So please, stay with us now as Speed Vision presents a rare slice of 1970s Americana, Car and Track.
Hey, late model stock fans, on your feet. We've got another one for you from the land of grits and greens. The action is centered around a little town of Rockingham, North Carolina, with the running of the American 500. Hey, this one is a wheel-to-wheel fender bender that'll keep you on the edge of your seat from flag to flag. Our road test special of the week is the pride of Plymouth, the GTX. It's a strong, tough performer, and I think our workout on the track will prove this. Hey, this one's all fired. Don't go away. We'll be right back. On all of our racetrack junkets across the Southland, a twice-a-year stop at North Carolina Motor Speedway is a must. This newest member of the NASCAR circuitry is an almost perfectly engineered, 1-mile, high-banked racing plant, offering ideal spectator viewing of some of the greatest wheel-to-wheel spectacles we've ever seen. Well, their second race of the year is the last super speedway event on the calendar, and oftentimes the year's point championship is decided right here. Until this last event, the same driver has never won twice at this track. Well, truly, the American 500 is one of the greatest challenges to men and machinery. 1 mile, the classic distance. North Carolina Motor Speedway is the pride of NASCAR. And today, under a picture-perfect October sky, a crowd of 35,000 enthusiastic race fans have gathered for the 4th running of the American 500. The 44 fastest cars are lined up in pit row. Davy Pearson is out to capture the point championship, and he just might sew it up today. However, Bobby Isaacs in the Dodge number 71 may have a few plans of his own, and the Grand National Champion Richard Petty really needs this one. He's gone all season without a super speedway win. All drivers are buckled in, and the Camaro pace car leads the cars out onto the track. Davy Pearson starts on the outside of Cale Yarborough, who has the pole. In the second row, Bobby Isaacs and Petty. Then it's Paul Goldsmith in the Dodge Super Bee and Leroy Yarborough driving a Torino. 44 of the fastest late model stocks in the world are now in the parade lap. All cars holding position well as the pace car moves off the track. Suddenly, the ground quivers and the air is filled with a sound of power when this fantastic field explodes across the start line for the green flag. Out of turn 1, Cale Yarborough has the lead in that Mercury Cyclone, with Bobby Isaacs running second. Paul Goldsmith is third. As they round out of the third turn, Richard Petty whips his Hemi Plymouth into the 4th slot right behind Goldsmith. And down the front chute, Isaac starts to close up on Cale. Watch it, there's trouble in the second turn. With the race only 2 laps old, Frank Gardner, the boy from Sydney, Australia, blew the engine in his Ford Torino. The wrecker picks him up, and this race is history for Frankie. On the restart, the Yarborough-Isaac battle continues. Bobby has that Charger running beautifully and challenges Cale in every corner. Through the first turn, Isaac has a wheel on him, and as they move through the second pocket, Bobby Isaac takes the lead away. A little further back in heavy traffic, it's Pearson, Glatzbach, Petty, and Goldsmith. The scramble is on, but Bobby Isaac is running wild. The Ford number 98, driven by Leroy Yarborough, has been smoking badly, and finally he pulls into the pits. A few minutes later, they found out he had a cut valve stem. Cale Yarborough in number 21 and Goldsmith in the Super Bee number 99 are right on top of Bobby Isaac. All 3 cars are bunched up through every turn. Charlie Glotzbach in the Charger number 6 has come up through this traffic like water through sand, and he's camped on Petty's bumper. On the 31st lap, Bobby Allison, driving the Plymouth number 14, pits for tires. This is a handling track, and the boys drive it at well over 100 miles an hour. This makes tire wear an all-important factor. Hey, watch this. Richard Petty is on the move. He slashes underneath Pearson in the first turn in an all-out bid for the number 1 spot. His pit crew gave him the sign to go, and he lets it all hang out. Cale Yarborough has just regained the lead, but Isaac and Goldsmith are just inches away. The NASCAR Rookie of the Year, Pete Hamilton, wheels his Dodge Charger into the pits for right-side rubber and fuel. Pete's been running strong in that car ever since the green flag. Meanwhile, Paul Goldsmith tangled with Isaac and Yarborough and spun the Super Bee out on the back chute. With the yellow flag out, the pits are wild with action. Petty, Pearson, Yarborough, Isaac, Baker, Lund. Half the field is taking this opportunity for new rubber and fuel. Coming into the pits, Bud Moore, number 29, was sideswiped by Charlie Glotzbach and gets crunched up against the guardrail. This will put him out of the race. The crew is trying to straighten the fender on Glotzbach's Charger. As he was coming down pit row, he swerved to avoid a loose wheel, and in doing so, cut into the path of Bud Moore, causing Moore to smash into the guardrail. On the restart, Bobby Isaac looks like he was shot out of a cannon, and he fires into the lead. One lap after the restart, the officials have Glotzbach back in the pits. They're penalizing him 1 lap for the accident with Moore. Charlie claims it was unavoidable, refuses to go back in the race with a 1-lap penalty, and angrily wheels his car back to the garage. There goes another engine. Dexter Gainey blows his 68 Ford, number 52, in the second turn. Look out, there's 2 more on the front chute. Car number 97, Red Farmer, careened off the wall down the main straight right in the path of Buddy Baker's Dodge Charger. Baker goes back in the race, but Farmer's car will have to be towed off into the pits. Under the yellow flag, Donnie Allison has the lead, Petty second. But when they drop the green flag for the restart, Richard screams at Hemi down the chute and takes Allison on the high side. Chute, it's Richard, Donnie Allison, plus Cale and Leroy Yarborough side by side. Hey, another spinner in the second turn. Doc Tarr, driving the Zero Chevelle, lost it and spun in the corner. Then number 57, Stan Meserve, hit him and almost ripped the body off the car. With the track clear, they're off again and running rebel style. Petty has the lead, but he has company. Leroy Yarborough is on his side with Bobby Isaac and Cale Yarborough right on his tail. But Richard's a scrambler, and this is the way he likes to run. Out of a 3-abreast sprint down the front chute, Bobby Isaac takes his lead back in the first turn. That Hemi Charger is unleashed fury. Darrell Derringer has had that Plymouth in the pits for the last 5 laps. Now the oil pressure is gone, and they push it behind the wall. Darrell is a long-time veteran on the NASCAR circuit, a strong contender in any race, but you'll be a spectator for the rest of this one. Buddy Baker in number 3 is running stronger than ever, even after that brush against the wall with Red Farmer. Uh-oh, this is a tough break for the Dodge boys. Bobby Isaacs is in the pits with a hood up. This could prove expensive. With Isaac in the pits, Petty hurls his Hemi Plymouth into the lead. Davy Pearson is second, Buddy Baker third, and Cale Yarborough fourth. That makes it Plymouth, Ford, Dodge, Mercury. Yarborough fires through the corners. He has that number 98 Torino all wound out. He slips on the inside of Cale and moves up behind Buddy Baker. Meanwhile, Bobby Isaac's crew pushed their car behind the wall to change the distributor. On the 207th lap, Petty pitted for fresh rubber and fuel. This gave the lead to Buddy Baker, with Cale Yarborough a very close second. Baker, in his tussle with Cale, came in a little too hard on the outside. He brushed the wall, and now he's limping down the back chute. This gives the lead to the top money winner of the year, Cale Yarborough, driving the number 21 Mercury Cyclone. Baker makes it back to the pits. They changed a blown tire on the right side and have him back on the race in 17 seconds. Petty has his Plymouth in the second slot now, is rapidly closing the gap on Cale. Richard has his eye on the checkered flag, and he's pacing himself beautifully. Then Cale dives into pit row. The Wood brothers fit tires all the way around, refuel him, and number 21 is back on the track in 41 seconds. That was great pit work, but he's second now, and the Petty fans come alive. A few stalls further down pit row, the mechanics find a faulty ignition on car number 99. This puts Paul Goldsmith out of the race. Meanwhile, Bobby Isaacs goes back into the race with a brand new distributor. His crew worked long and hard on that car, and with Bobby second high in point standings, they had to keep him in the race. Laps ago, Petty pitted for new rubber on both sides. It was a fairly long stop, and when he did get back in the race, he was second, almost a full lap behind Cale Yarborough, who has the number 1 spot. Yarborough may be having trouble. He's running about 3 seconds slower with a slight trace of smoke out of the rear end. Number 17, Pearson, is third with Donnie Allison fourth. He's coming in. Cale Yarborough is putting his Cyclone behind the wall and into the garage. Brothers crew run over to the car as Cale climbs out. This was a bad break for Ford Motor. Cale is their top boy. He explains that the car just lost its punch. He stated that the oil pressure was low and that he felt it would blow if he stayed in the race. Here comes the judge. Petty owns the lead. Richard's Roadrunner is all alone and in the groove. He figures half the Coyotes are behind him, the other half are in the pits. Davy Pearson is back out of the pits and running second. Tiny Lund is third, Leroy Yarborough fourth. Back in the pits, Isaacs makes a 23-second stop for tires and fuel. He just wants to finish and stay in the point race. Buddy Baker is in the pits with his Charger. His crew tell him that Hemi is all through and push him behind the wall. After 400 laps, the average speed is 104.461 miles an hour. That's a brand new record for this beautiful North Carolina Motor Speedway. Now, Donnie Allison opens at Torino number 27 and goes around Isaac on the outside. lap later, the yellow flag is thrown when Allison goes too hard and too high into turn 3. Slams the guardrail. With that right front wheel gone, he limps into the pits. In the garage, Donnie is out of the car and out of the race. With just a few laps to go, Petty has the lead. Pearson is just a few seconds behind him, and Leroy Yarborough has the 3rd spot. White flag, and with one more lap to go, Richard buries his foot in the muscle box and has that Roadrunner hung out all the way. Pearson in the Ford number 17 is second and trying to close, but that Hemi is too hot today, and with a half a lap to go, Petty is actually stretching him. Now that electric blue number 43 pounds down off the high bank 4th turn and screams under the checkered flag. Richard Petty wins his 2nd American 500. Look what Plymouth's up to now. They just captured a Roadrunner in the victory circle. Petty led the race 6 times for a total of 216 laps, but he said the last one was the most important. He set a brand new track record and made $16,875 for his efforts. His first major speedway victory of the year, and he was happy to win it here at North Carolina Motor Speedway, the greatest action track in the Southland.